So you got your sewing projector hung, but you don't know how to dial it in so that you can cut out your patterns. That is what we are going to do today. Hi, I'm Christina, and I love to digitally apparel pattern, and I'm super excited to have a projector to project my patterns onto fabric instead of having to cut out all the paper. And today we are going to set up the Leisure 470 Pro and get it all dialed in and ready to cut out my next pattern. I'm super excited, so let's get started. So, first step, we gotta turn on the projector. Oh, I clicked it twice, but we're good. It takes a second for it to spin up, and then all we have to do is remove the cap. We got the hubby with the helps. There we go. So you can tell already that it is not focused at all. So I'm going to take you over to the projector and show you which ones you will need to dial in to get it as close to focused as you can. Let's go take a look. So this one right here adjusts the tilt, as you can see how much it is twisting. So that helps you make sure that the skew of your pattern is not too skewed. Now this bottom one adjusts the focus more. So as you twist it, you can see the screen come much more into focus, and then it goes out of focus again. So now that you have the projector up, you have to be aware that you are going to be working in a little bit darker of a room. I do have one light on my face to help light me so you guys can see me a little easier. But a lot of times when I'm working with the projector, I have all the lights off and I'm only using the ambient light that comes in from outside. So now that we are somewhat focused in, we're going to go ahead and select English as our language, maybe. And then we're going to get ready to actually get this thing scaled in. So once you do this once, you want to make sure that you mark down the numbers that you use so that you can always revert back to it, and all you would have to do is plug in and then change your numbers to the numbers that we're going to go to. I'll show you where to do that in just a minute. So let's change up this screen so you can see what I'm doing on my computer as well as on the floor. I'm also going to want you to get an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper because I always find it's easier to get into the range with a larger square than an inch by inch square. So let's get started. Now that we have our projector on and kind of into a skew and focus, that's the important part. It is in a focus so that you can read the letters. Now if you have a blank sheet of paper or anything, you will definitely be able to read stuff better than on a mat. But we don't need to be able to read it super well right now. So we are going to get this lined up nice and well. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draft a rectangle that is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So we're going to do 8.5 by 11. There we go. Now, mine came up with thick lines. Most of the time, they will not. Ooh, where's my mouse? There it is. Sometimes they come up with the stroke line very low, which in patterning you normally want those thin lines so that you're getting those exact measurements. But when you're projecting, you need to be able to see those lines. And you can definitely tell that you cannot see that line nearly as well. So what we're going to do is highlight it and go into your strokes and put it up to 0.25 where mine was. Now, you can also see that my line right there is or my rectangle is a tiny little thing on this artboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom until I can get that 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Let me actually move that sheet of paper over to, how close am I? We're pretty close there. but I think we need to go down just a little bit. So we're gonna go down a full point. So down here on the left-hand side of the artboard, you will see a percentage. It is, for right now, mine is sitting at 20.5. And because of how I have my screen, I'm not sure you guys can actually see this. But I'll make sure to throw up a picture right here so that you can definitely see where I am talking about on the screen. That is the percentage that is super important to note. So right now, we're fairly close to it. We know we're gonna have to go down a little bit. So I'm just gonna go down a full percentage. So it's 19.5, enter, and then we're going to move that square. So that was definitely a little bit too much, but we know we're getting close. So we'll go up to 19, stop going up, 19.85. We'll move that square over to our thing. And that is really close. So we know we're getting even closer. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to move away from the 8.5 sheet by 11 just because we know we are in the vicinity, but to really get those minute details, we want to make sure that we're getting it all across the board, not just at this one point. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the gray part of Illustrator. And right now I have my guides and grids up at, I have it every inch, and then I have subdivisions every 16th of an inch. And we definitely don't want that. So we're going to go into our guides and grids, and we're going just to take that 16 away. And the other thing that I highly recommend doing for this part is actually changing the custom color to white, so that on that gray, it pops. I found that white was the easiest color to see on my cutting board, that I could easily line stuff up and really get it to work well. So I chose white. There we go. So now I have a gridded piece of paper, or a grid on being projected onto my grid cutting board. So it's time to actually line it up. So as we are looking at this projected piece, you can actually see that close down here, the squares are actually fairly close to lined up. See, if I move it off just a little bit, you can see the white squares, and then I can move it on, and it's fairly accurate for a very small area. Let's get my mouse up and out of the way. So as you can see real close there, it's on, but then as you move out to even just right here, you can tell it's off. So we know that we are still too small. So we are going to bump this up to, we are at 19.85. I'm going to go up 10, so 19.95. And then it always is handy to have a friend help you. So I'm going to have my hubby move the board just a little bit to see how close we are, because it still looks very close to right where the camera is. But as we come towards this part of the screen, over to the left side of the screen, we are still a little bit off skew. So we're going to go up another 10%. So we're going up to 20.05. And we're getting closer. More and more of that board is definitely going into the squares, but I'm going to go up another, so 20.15. Ooh, that looks like that might be it. Because when it's on, ooh. So the one way you can definitely do, you can continue to go up one more full 10 points, so it'd be 20.25. And that's starting to skew the other way now. So we know that's too much. So we definitely want to go back down to our 20.15. And there it is. That is the sweet number. So you definitely want to make sure that you are recording that number. Write it down somewhere so that you know, with this projector at this height to this cutting height, that is the percentage you will have to be projecting your patterns in. So I'm going to have my lovely assistant pull off so you can see one more time. You can see the white projector lines. Go ahead and pull the full mat so that you can see those lines line up with the blue. And then we're going to have him line them all back up because it's so fun to watch. Woo! Look at them all line up. I love it. I love it so much. And there we have it. We have now dialed in our projector. I am working with the Leisure 470 Pro for this video, and I am enjoying it a lot. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you can see other ways on how to digitally apparel pattern your own pieces of wearable art, and then even project them onto your own fabric and cut them out without having to print out massive patterns. I am super excited. Definitely check out some of my other fun videos so that you can get digitally apparel patterning, and I look forward to seeing you in those videos. Happy patterning!